Good day. We are the social surveyors, and in our study today, we wanted to really find out how many people sit alone at the crossroads. In order to gain a good representative sample of this, we went to the crossroads on 6 different days and collected observational data between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. They're the same area of tables were grouped into 2 categories. We grouped it into one-person tables or group tables. Our hypothesis was that the proportion of people who sit alone at the crossroads is more than the proportion of those that sit with the group. We used a level of significance of 0.05. To keep our data collection consistent and to reduce any biases, we made sure that we counted the same set of tables each time. We also made sure that we counted from the same side of the crossroads, moving in the same direction on those days where we collected the data, and then also made sure that it was at different times on different days randomly. Our null hypothesis was that P was equal to 0.70, and then our alternative was that our P was not equal to 0.70.
Well, I could go through and talk about all the information on the slide. I thought it would be best to show you where we got it from. The statistical toolbox, which is a spreadsheet containing all the correct equations to properly complete a one proportion z test, as well as other statistical tests, though we will not be covering those today. Now all we need to do is plug in the right information. For starters, we will put in the x and n values, x being the number of single sitters and n being the total number of tables counted. From there, all we need to do next is to plug in our hypothesis test values. We put in 0.7 as our backing this claim, and that is why we're testing it with a two-tailed test. Once we put that in, we can see with the values we got out. Our sample portion, our p hat, came out to be 0.698, which rounded on the pie graph as 0.7. Our test statistic was negative 0.98 and our p-value was 0.922. Within the spreadsheet, we can also check for the normality of p-hat. Within there, we can see if we meet the requirements to do a one proportion z-test. As you can see, we did reach both requirements for the confidence interval and the hypothesis test, and that being that we were greater than 10.
After conducting our one proportion test, these are the things that we learned. We saw that approximately 70% of the people we observed sat alone during the lunch period, and also that because of different times of the day or during different semesters, these numbers could change. Maybe the pattern would not be the same. A few of the limitations that we had were that our data was only collected between 12 to 2 p.m. The observations that we made were only at one location on campus, and some individuals may have been counted more than once on different days. Then the last limitation that we had was that seating choices may vary depending on exam season, special events, different weather. Also, whether there's a public holiday, tomorrow could affect the amount of people that are at the crossroads today. Those were the different limitations that we had while collecting our data. A future research idea would be that we collect our data during breakfast, dinner, weekends, and finals week to determine whether the seating habits vary by time or season, and also to check whether the seating habits are consistent throughout the whole semester.
There are also many variables we have yet to consider, such as outlet access, but there is still much we can learn from this study. For example, if the campus is looking to see the crossroads used as a place for more group activities, maybe there should be an increase of activities held there, such as they did for the FIFA World Watch parties. On the other side, there is a few things we can do to improve our study or questions that people would most likely ask. For example, why did we use a one proportion z-test? Because we wanted to determine whether the proportion of people sitting alone was different than our hypothesized proportion of 70%. Another question is, what was the biggest limitation of our study? That is being that we collected at one location during lunch period from 12 to 2 p.m. Another question is, if we were to repeat this study, what would we change? We would collect data during different parts of the semester, such as the beginning of the semester, midterms, and final weeks to see if seating habits change over time, or if they stay consistent. And then why did we choose 70%? As previously stated, our group selected 70% as the benchmark proportion we wanted to evaluate before performing the hypothesis test. We then used the sample data to determine whether there was evidence that the true proportion differed from that benchmark. And while there are many other questions people could ask, we've only have so much time with inside this video. Thank you for listening to a presentation about sitting alone at the crossroads.